A while back, I made a video about the benefits of elite crafting skill, but I never actually showed how powerful it really is. 4 days ago, I reached elite crafting skill and have been able to craft 2 items per station ever since. As most of you know, the more you level up the crafting skill, the less time it takes to craft things. So in today's video, I'll be showing you guys all of the crafting times for each item on every station, as well as how many things I was able to craft in just 4 days of normal playing time. Also, just like most of my hideout videos, we'll be selling off everything I've crafted to see just how much money we made in those 4 days. So let's jump right into it. All right, so first up, we're going to be in the skills tab, so I can show you guys that I do in fact have elite crafting skill. And as you can see, the benefit of elite is the ability to craft up to 2 different items in a zone at once. Not only that, but it also reduces item crafting time by 37.5%, and it also reduces all cyclic production time except for the Bitcoin farm, also by 37.5%. I have a whole video on the crafting skill and how it all works. I'll link that in the top right if you're interested. But the important thing here is that it reduces all of these times by 37.5%. So now with elite crafting skill, every single craft in the hideout is at the lowest amount of time that it's going to take. So the first thing I want to do is go through all of these and show you just how quickly you can make some of these items. We'll go through every single station so everybody will be able to see certain things that maybe they want to see. And first up, we're going to start with moonshine. So at elite, we're looking at 1 hour and 54 minutes to make 1 moonshine. Water collector will be done here shortly, so we'll come back to this. And then first up, we're going to jump into the workbench, and all I'm going to do here is kind of scroll through pretty slowly so you guys can have time to look at it and see, you know, maybe there's a specific craft in here that you want to know how long it takes. So we're just going to scroll through these super slow. Hopefully I'm going slow enough for you guys to be able to catch everything that you need to see. I know the workbench is the longest one, so that's why this one has taken quite a bit of time, but I want to make sure nobody is left out in this. There we go. That's everything for the workbench. We'll jump over to the lavatory and we'll do the same thing. Again, I'm going to try and go slowly so you guys can see all of the times on everything. All right, so that's the lavatory. We'll jump over to the nutrition unit. Again, we will scroll through this pretty slow so everybody can see. These are all of the times. All right, and then lastly, we'll jump over to the med station and scroll through. We can see all of the times here. Actually, I almost forgot the intelligence center. If anybody is curious about these, a lot of these crafts are rewards from finishing Lightkeeper quests, so mine doesn't look the same as some of you, but there's those just in case you wanted to see. And our water collector just finished, so we'll go ahead and grab that, and it takes 3 hours and 23 minutes to make 1 purified water. All right, so that is all of the times on every single station. One more that I kind of forgot about was the scab case, so here's all of the times for those. And also the scab case is included, so I can run 2 of these at a time as well, just like all the other stations. All right, so now that we've got all of the times out of the way, I'm not going to go into what crafts I'm doing right now and what's the most profitable. Obviously, you guys will kind of get an idea of that when we go to sell everything off, but I will be making a video soon on the most profitable crafts, so stay tuned for that. But real quickly, I'm going to go through and show you guys what it looks like to be crafting multiple things at once. So let's say, for example, on the lavatory, I want to do ripstop and aramid. We'll go ahead and start that one, and then as soon as you start that one, you can just go down to your next one. Let's say I want to do aramid, and boom, you can do it like that. Now you have 2 items crafting at once. Same thing over here on the workbench. Let's say I want to do these pliers, hand it over, and then I also want to do green gunpowder. hand it over just like that. So as you can see, 4 different stations, we can craft 2 things at once. I'm going to go ahead and get everything going just because I want to keep my hideout running, and we'll move on to the med station and get this going as well. And then there we go. So each station, 2 things crafting at once, means I've got 8 different crafts going all together. And then obviously if I throw the booze generator on here as well, we've got 9. And then if you really wanted to, you could go over to the scav case, run 2 of these. I personally don't do it anymore. And then you can also go to the intelligence center, do 2 of these as well. And you guys get the picture. You can do a lot with max crafting. All right, so now that we've got all of that out of the way, we're going to move into selling everything off. And I'm just going to go through everything and show you guys just how much stuff we were able to craft in 4 days. And I'm glad I'm doing this video now because I'm starting to run out of space. So first up, we'll jump into my thick case up here. And as you guys can see, I have an absolute insane amount of slickers. Here's all of our moonshines. We've got hot rods. And then we've also got the EWRs. Remember, this is only 4 days of crafting, so this is insane. So that's all of that, and then we'll move into our other stuff here. I've tried to separate things and keep them all like organized, but some things are a little here and there. So in this crate, we've got the round pliers, green gunpowder, and then some extra stuff. Down here, we've got all of our aramids. We got some PCBs and filters. Ignore all this down here. This is normally I use this junk box to put in things that I sell to traders or things that I sell on the Flea. And then down here, we've got a bunch of piles of meds and ripstops. And then of course, we can't forget we have our Bitcoins, and those are over here in the Hall of Fame. So we got 6 of them. Now, having max crafting has no effect on the Bitcoin farm, so just keep that in mind. Those 6 Bitcoins also came from the 4 days of crafting. So I'm going to go ahead and pull everything out and get everything listed on the Flea, and we will kind of run through it one by one. Before we start listing stuff, I went ahead and made the number even, so we're starting at 26 million. So just remember that. First up, we're going to be listing 32 green gunpowders at 40,700. Next up, we're going to be listing 54 ripstops at 36,500, 95 piles of meds at 25,500, 57 aramids at 18,400, 125 slickers at 16,900, 12 moonshines at 387,900. Next is 50 emergency water rations at 27,700, 15 PCBs at 18,900. Next is going to be 70 hot rods at 15,500. And then the last thing going on the Flea is going to be these gas mask air filters. Only got 3 of them, and we're going to go ahead and list them for 59,000 rubles. That's the last thing going on the Flea. After that, we're going to be selling the Bitcoins and the round pliers to therapists, and I will tell you how much we get for each of those. But for right now, I'm going to wait for all that stuff to sell on the Flea, and then we'll sell the pliers and the Bitcoins, and then we will get a total number. But we've already got everything listed on the Flea, and as you can see, we're sitting just over 25 mil, so we spent about $1 mil on flea market fees, which is not too bad. So once all this sells, we'll come back, sell all of these, and then we'll get the final number. Okay, everything has sold on the Flea. As you can see, we have 0 offers. So now we're going to move on to the round pliers and the Bitcoins, and we're going to go ahead and sell them to therapists. Starting out with the round pliers, we're going to sell 45 of them for 765,000 rubles, and then we're going to sell our 6 Bitcoins for almost 5.2 mil. All right, so with all of that sold, we're going to go ahead and collect from the flea market. And that is quite a bit. So here we go. All right, so we started out with 26 million. We went down to about 25 with flea market fees and everything, and now we are sitting at 47 million. So that means we sold everything for around 23 million rubles, and I'd say that's not bad for 4 days of just crafting. So basically, the main point of this whole video is just to show you guys how powerful elite crafting skill is and just how much money you can make by using it. Essentially, what it does is speed up the process of making money. Normally, if I was going to make this much, it would take about a week of crafting during my normal playing time, but now that I have the skill max, it takes half the time, and as you guys can see, we made an absolute ton of money in just 4 days. Now, I know getting to max crafting is an absolute grind, but trust me, it is well worth it, because at this point in the wipe, I'm grinding Lightkeeper, and eventually I'm going to start jumping into getting my 20 Sturman kills and going for tracksuit. So having this running in the background means that I can just focus on these tasks. I don't have to worry about looting. I don't have to worry about doing money runs. I don't have to worry about making money in general, I can just totally rely on the Hideout to keep me going. But that's going to do it for this video. If you guys have any questions or suggestions, be sure to leave them down in the comments below. If you haven't already, head over to the first link in the description. Jump over to my Twitch channel and drop a follow. I would really appreciate it. Also, we have a community Discord, so if that interests you, that'll be linked below as well. But other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video.